Do you want to be the guardian angel of your fire team, making your team nigh unkillable as they rally around you? Do you want to annihilate your enemies with cleansing fire through never-ending ignitions? Or maybe you're just looking for a build that allows you to carry your teammates through any content in the game. What is going on, Guardians? Dwarvrich here, and in this video I will be showcasing an incredibly strong endgame Dawnblade build that combines the best team utility super in the game with a huge amount of area damage. Not only will this build have you chaining Well of Radiance nearly back to back to make everyone practically invincible, but thanks to a lesser known interaction between Well and the solar fragments, you'll also be making an ignition on every kill, turning the battlefield into a fiery supernova. In the background you're seeing some Grandmaster Nightfall gameplay, so we are locked 25 power under level. And as you can see, this build just doesn't care about anything. We can almost chain Well back to back by ourselves, and with a teammate on the same build we can go through an entire GM with our brains off. And that's not to mention the huge amount of AoE that we're capable of. Now let's get to the build explanation. The centerpiece of this build is the most powerful super ability in Destiny, Well of Radiance. Well is the ultimate team buff ability. It gives everyone inside 50% damage reduction and 100 healing per second to make them effectively immortal, on top of a 25% boost to weapon damage. It also makes our weapon damage count as super damage, more on why that's important in a bit. But support is far from the only thing we do with this build. Through our aspects and fragments we can put out an enormous amount of area damage. The Touch of Flame aspect turns our grenades into absolute powerhouses, and we're running this with fusion grenades for an excellent middle ground between single target and area damage. The other aspect is up to personal playstyle, but I like Heat Rises for that extra flexibility to do things while gliding. Icarus Dash is good too as a pseudo hunter dodge. Again, both aspects are good, and the second aspect will depend on individual playstyle. For fragments, we're on Ember of Combustion, Eruption, Char, and Ashes. Combustion is the lesser known interaction with Well that I mentioned earlier. Since Well makes our damage count as super damage, as long as we kill something from inside with a solar weapon it will count as a solar super kill and trigger an ignition. Note that this only works with kills in our own Well, so if we're standing in a teammate's Well we do not get the ignitions. Since we're causing so many ignitions, the rest of our fragments are built to capitalize on that. Eruption makes the ignitions bigger, while Char causes them to spread 40 stacks of Scorch to anything that doesn't die to them right away. Ashes gives us a 50% increase to Scorch stacks, which combos with Char to cause ignition chains, since now every ignition is spreading 60 Scorch stacks. Just look at what we do to this group here in a solo Master Nightfall. 2 kills kick off the ignition chain, and before we know it, almost everything is dead. This is all tied together by our exotic armor piece, Phoenix Protocol. Phoenix Protocol will give us a huge amount of super energy back simply for shooting things from our Well, which is exactly what we'd be doing anyway. Let's look at that last clip again, but this time watch the super bar. As you can see, our Well is almost ready to go again just several seconds after we first cast it. And as for getting that last bit back, that's where our armor mods come in. On our helmet, we're using double Ashes to assets. This will turn every grenade kill into a sizable chunk of super energy. If we land a juicy enough fusion, we can sometimes see as much as a quarter of our bar fill back up from one grenade. We're also using double bomber on our class item to help refund our fusion grenade faster, because more fusions ultimately means more Well of Radiance. For combat style mods, we're on a pure elemental Well package. We're running Explosive Well Maker to make solar wells on every explosive multi-kill, which includes both grenades and ignitions. Elemental Ordnance will generate another solar well from every grenade kill. Bountiful Wells will generate an additional solar well from each of those sources. So now if we throw our fusion grenade and get a double kill, we will get 4 solar elemental wells for a massive ability energy refund. Well of Ordnance will turn those wells into even more grenade energy. Finally, Seeking Wells brings the solar wells to us, so that we don't have to leave the safety of our Well of Radiance to gather them. This creates a system where Phoenix Protocol gives us the first half of our super back like it's nothing, and then between our double ashes to assets, solar well generation for more grenades and other abilities, and the damage we dish out and take, the second half will come back extremely quickly. As for stats, we want 100 resilience first, since 40% damage reduction is essential for endgame survivability, and it also improves the health of our well, making it less likely to break. We pair this with appropriate resist mods on the chest piece to become borderline unkillable while we're in our well. For Nightfalls, always match the burn, and for anything else, one stack of each elemental resist gives the most well-rounded resistances. The second priority is discipline because grenades give us so much super energy, followed by recovery to improve our survivability when we're not in Well of Radiance. For weapons, we need at least one solar workhorse weapon to take advantage of the ignition synergy. There are plenty of excellent options, but my personal favorite is the BXR-55 pulse rifle, crafted with Enhanced Demolitionist and Incandescent. Demolitionist gives us more fusion grenades for ultimately more super energy and more Wells of Radiance, while Incandescent has strong synergy with the rest of the build and makes it even easier to start ignition chains. Other especially fun options include Xenophage, Teku's Divination, Sunshot, and the Fixed Odds Machine Gun. And there you have it, an extremely strong support Dawnblade build that makes use of the reworked solar mechanics to give the classic Warlock some serious additional firepower. This build will serve you well no matter what activity you're doing, and it will be more than welcome in any team, especially those looking to tackle challenging endgame content. I hope you all enjoyed the build and breakdown. Drop a like if you found this video helpful or entertaining, and if you want to see more endgame oriented builds like this one, consider subscribing to the channel. You can also find all my builds in a playlist, which I will link in the description. You can find a dim link to the build in the description too, as well as a consolidated image of the build at the end of the video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll do my best to answer every question that comes my way. As usual, I'll leave you now with some legendary campaign gameplay, so you can see how this build performs in a more relaxed setting. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one, Guardians.